Today we are talking about key pair secret, and you must know this. If you started AWS journey and first you started exploring on compute and EC2 instance, create the EC2 instance and then how to log into the EC2 instance, and key pair secret is really important to log into the EC2 instance. Let's move in. You are basically begging to be hacked if you are logging on a system using username and password. And when you do that, there are a lot of bots running in the internet. They will try with automated way to log into the system, and your system may be hacked and someone can log in and get the information they want. And that thing we are preventing using SSH key pair or key pair for EC2 instance. If you are new here, I am Chris from iCloud Excel. I'm ex-Amazonian. I have spent over 23 years working in IT infrastructure and AWS cloud technologies, including over a decade in Silicon Valley, San Francisco, helping organizations to build solutions on AWS cloud. On this channel, I help you master on AWS cloud, DevOps, AI through simple explanations, real-world scenarios, and hands-on learning. Why should you actually care about this key pair? Password is a liability. You have to remember it and take care of it. If you miss that password, for everyone else also your system is hacked. So this is very important, that password is really responsibility, and most of the people, they keep really easy password which is very easy to guess it. All the big companies, corporate companies, they rely on the key pairs. This is a mathematically uncrackable security. So you can't remember that key pair values, right? So it is easy to manage and securely log into the system. And this is very critical for the exam as well. AWS certification exam test you on that. You're going to learn public versus private keys, a simple real-world analogy I'm going to use, and AWS validation workflow, step-by-step identity verification, how it happens, Linux versus Windows, how key pair being used for Linux and the Windows system login. Then the last thing you're going to learn, fix that permission error. Let's say you created the key pair, but you're trying to log into the system, but you're not able to log in. It's not happening. So we need to know how to fix it. So these 4 key things you're going to learn. Let's imagine the lock box. So you have a lock and then you have a key. So you have to remember that lock is actually the public key. In the key pair, you have a public key and the private key. And lock is actually the public key, because if you put a lock on your door, everyone can see. That's why it is public. That's a public key. And this public key is stored in EC2 instance, right? And the other side of is a private key. Private key is private for you. You are the owner of the house. You put the lock. Now you have the key to open the lock. No one else. Everyone else has a key for their home. But for you, only you can open that lock because you have the key. This is called the private key. So private key, when you create a key pair, public key stays with AWS EC2 instance and private key stays with you. You download the private key and you store in your system so that you can log into the instance. You use your private key because you the owner for the private key. Only you can log into the system because this public key is associated with your private key. All right. I hope you understand it now. Let's understand the cloud connection workflow. First, you generate the key, then distribute the key. I mean, when you generate the key, you get the private key. Public key is with AWS. And when you generate it, after that you distribute. You have the private key, you store it somewhere where everyone else in your team can log in. Or you distribute the key, private key, to your partners or teammates. Then when you log in to the instance using a private key, then cryptographic handshake happens. This handshake is proving that, okay, your private key and public key, they are associated. If you try to log into the other instance, that public key is not associated with your private key. That's why you won't be able to log in. But the instance you're logging in, your public key is there associated with private key. You are using that private key and you are able to log into the instance. So this is a simple flow. And now let me demonstrate you how you can create that key pair and then use that key pair to log in. Here I am on the console. So this key pair, because we are talking about the EC2 instance, you have to go to EC2 service. So EC2 service I already added in the favorite, but if you don't, then you search EC2 here and click EC2. So you are in the EC2 page. Now if you go down in the left side panel, there are a lot of menus. One place you will find Key Pair. This is the Key Pair. See, I already created my project Key Pair, so I'm using this Key Pair to create that EC2 instance, log into the EC2 instance. If you want to create new, just create new. So I'm gonna say demo key because I'm not gonna use in the future. I'm just gonna show you. But there are two kinds of key types, RSA and ED25519. This is recommended, but for this demonstration sake, I'm using RSA. And pem.pem is mainly used for the MacBook, but if you're a Windows person, then you do .ppk. And then SSH client, you have to configure this .ppk file to log into the instance. But I'm gonna do .pem because I have a MacBook, right? If you want to tag, just say name is demo for demo purpose, so that you have hundreds of keys. You know that which keys for which team or which project, whatever. This is very important to put a tag so that you can easily identify which key I am having. All right. So create the key pair. Boom. It's so easy. I created and immediately there is a download happened. So demo key pem. So if I go to my download folder, here is the download folder and you see the demo key pair. And this is the key actually has the private key. This is your private key. All right. So if you want to use that demo key, what you do when you create a EC2 instance, you have to provide this key information when you create a EC2 instance, because once you create it, you cannot do it unless you have another key available and you log in and configure another public key on the SSH. You can do that too. But when you create launch instance, you can launch it from here, or you can click on instances and you can launch it from here. So once you launch, let's say demo instance. So when you do that, let's say Linux I'm doing, and you actually set up this Amazon Linux AMI, and this is the AMI, it's selected already, and this is the instance type, free tier eligible. Key pair is blank, you have to select one. Let's say this is the one demo key, I'm doing it. And then network settings, by default I'm keeping everything else. Only thing is security group firewall, I'm changing from my IP so that I can secure access to this instance. No one else in the internet can try, so I'm blocking everyone else except my system. All right, so all done, you don't have to do a thing now. So launch instance, so I'm launching this EC2 instance Linux. All right, so I'm gonna launch another instance which is basically the Windows, and just quickly I'm gonna show you how you can use the same key. It's a demo but Windows for key pair. All right, naming a little different. This is for Windows. So in this case, so AMI I'm selecting for Windows. This is a Windows. All right, and when we select Windows, immediately you see AMI is selected here, Windows free tier eligible. And instance type, again I'm keeping it T3 micro. Key pair, again I'm giving demo key. So network, by default I'm keeping it. Again, the firewall security group, I'm changing it to my IP only source, and everything else is set. Okay, 30 GB storage, it configured by default. And right side you verify what are the things you configured and hit launch. All right, so now both the EC2 instance launch. I'm gonna pause for some time, let that EC2 instance comes up, and then I will show you login using the same key to different system, Windows and Linux. I'm on the EC2 instance page, and here you see two instances coming up. I named one Windows, another one is demo instance, but I'm gonna put it name like Linux. All right, so that's all, so that I can recognize that system Linux. First let me show you Linux because it's gonna come up probably quickly, so I can do that. Let's copy the network information, public IP address. This is a public IP, so I'm going there. Where did I store? Probably in the download, right? So cd downloads, okay, and ls minus lrt. You see the demo key here. So ssh minus I, this key, and EC2 instance is EC2 user @ then the public key, public IP. It's public IP. All right, so I'm gonna hit enter. Let's see, I logged in. There you go. So you use the demo key to log into that instance. You can use SSH client and configure this demo key, but for that it has to be PPK. You can convert from PM to PPK as well, right? Just keep in mind, you can do that. Just Google search convert from PM to PPK. You'll get a lot of instructions. All right, so I logged into the EC2 instance here. This is Linux EC2 instance, Amazon Linux. Now I'm gonna do login to the Windows. So here it is. So now let me go to the Windows now, and if I click on Windows and if I hit connect, right, So here you see there are three options. I'm going to do RDP client. So here I'm going to download this remote desktop file so that I can log in. So here this is the public DNS. I'll copy later, but for now let's get the password first. So I upload that PEM key we generated, download folder I have, and let me rearrange. This is the demo key pair and I'm uploading it, and bottom decrypt password. So I got this password. Now what I'm gonna do, so I'm going to open that downloaded file, right? This is the file, demo windows for key pair RDP. This is the RDP file. If you double click it, it will open that session. It says by default username is administrator, and let me get the password from the console one more time. Here it is, and I'm pasting that password and continue. There you go. It's first time I'm logging in into the Windows system using the same key pair, remember? And it's first time logging in, so it's gonna take some time. I don't want to increase the video time anymore, but you got the idea. Same key pair you used, you log into the EC2 instance Linux, you log into the Windows instance. All right, thank you so much for watching this. Let me go back to the presentation now. Before we go any further, I want to tell you about something which is going to change how fast you can grow on AWS. I have built a private community called 10x AWS Builder, and it is not just another Facebook group or Discord server or WhatsApp group with a lot of noise. This is focused and professional community built specifically for people like you, people who are serious about building their AWS career, passing their certifications, getting hired or promoted to the next cloud role. Here is what you get the moment you sign up. Weekly live Q&A calls. Ask me anything about AWS certifications, jobs. This will be live Q&A weekly sessions. I hold that Zoom call and you get answer instantly, and we can brainstorm as well on your problem, and you get direct mentorship. I will personally help you to build your learning roadmap, your certification path, fix your gaps, and keep you accountable for your goals. And I will guide you on this every step of the way. Third thing, you get 24/7 community access. At night 11 PM you got a questions, just post your questions. Our community never sleeps. Someone from your community member will answer it, and you get peer network of serious AWS learners. The people who join 10x AWS Builder, they are not here to watch passively. They are building, certifying, and landing cloud jobs. And that energy is contagious. Link in the description below. I will see you in the community. I have shown you the demonstration. Next is, let's understand some real world use case. Let's say Uber, hundreds of engineers working on EC2 instance, manual password, rotation over 90 days. It's really challenging and operational nightmare. Okay. Also, if you are using that username and password, you are basically opening up possibilities for hackers to log in. Now they can automate and log into the instance and get the secret information. So that's a problem, and solution is completely eliminate the password, disable the password, login password. EC2 instance does that by default. They don't allow you to log into the EC2 instance using username and password. And now you use PEM key or SSH key or key pair. Everything is same word. Everyone uses different way, but key pair to log into the system. Now you create a key pair and distribute that key pair to all the team members. Private key they have now, and now they can log into the instance. That's how they solve it. Another use case I wanted to tell you, global fintech startup. The compliance demands brute force immunity. That finance startup, compliance demands it, and EC2 key pairs deployed, password authentication disabled at OS level, no prompt to attack, right? This is for the compliance reason. The key pair helped here. Automated deployment, right? You want to deploy automation script for hundreds of EC2 instance. If you have a username password, you cannot do that. Now you have a private key, and using the private key, you write a script, and that script will log into each and every EC2 instance and deploy and install your applications and comes back. Your script will do the work overnight, and then morning you see that everything is completed. So this is the automated deployment, and PEM key or SSH key helped a lot. This is a very, very common use case. So 3 exam traps you have to remember. Number 1 is retention trap. So AWS never stores your private key. They only store your public key. They use public key to create the instance and you use private key to log into the system. So always remember that you have the private key. Now the permission trap, permission to open. When you store your private key in your system, the permission is always 400. If you do any other permission, that private key is not gonna allow to log into the system. So if I show you in the command line, if you demo key permission, you see this is too much permission. It is not good. So what you do, chmod 400 and demo key. So there you go. Now you see the permission is 400. Actually this is the permission you should have. All right, so permission trap, you must have 400. Don't give over permission. The regional boundary, key pair is regional. You cannot use that US East 1 region key pair in other region. So you have to create separate key pair in that region. So keep in mind, don't try to use the same key pair. You won't get it. When you try to create instance, you won't see that as a drop down for that key pair. You have to create a new key pair for that region, then only you can use that key pair to create that instance. I think this is very critical point to remember. Now before you go, I want you to remember 5 things. 2 keys, public keys and private keys. Remember this, when you create a key pair, you get private and public. And no password, brute force attacks eliminated entirely when you configure EC2 instance using key pair. And then AWS can't recover it. Delete your .pem key. AWS don't have any clue, so you have to create a new one. You won't be able to log into the instance. So don't delete it unless you are 100% sure. Just remember this point. Linux needs chmod 400. As I shown you, that permission should be 400 for that PEM key. And then region lock, key pairs stay within AWS region they were created in. So you cannot use that key pair in US East 1 region, cannot use in California region or Oregon region or Mumbai region. All right, so it is region specific. What you have mastered? Lock and key analogy, right? Private key, public key. Private key is your private key, public key is your lock. Cryptographic handshake, when you log in, cryptographic handshake happens, then only you are able to log in. Otherwise, if you try to log in another EC2 instance, cryptographic handshake fails and you won't be able to log in another EC2 instance if it is not created using same PEM key. Passwordless automation, definitely using PEM key you can do passwordless automation. Permission error fixed, 400 always it has to be. Thank you so much for watching this video. Keep building, and if you like this video, definitely like it, and if you want to get this kind of content, definitely subscribe my channel as well. Ever locked yourself out of the EC2 instance? Comment here if you are locked out of yourself, right? Probably you deleted the PEM keys, or you don't have the private keys. Previously you had it, now you lost it, you are not able to log into the EC2 instance. It happens all the time. So it is difficult to manage a lot of key pairs. That's why the next service came in AWS, which is Systems Manager. You can manage hundreds of thousands of EC2 instance fleet using that Systems Manager. You don't have to manage the PEM key. All right, thank you so much. I will see you in the next piece.